Retro anime. How did we find it? How does it hold up? Unpacking the ins and outs of being an old school nerd and proving that 80s kids can't remember a damn thing right. These are the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd.
Welcome to Mindless Midlife Musings of the Anime Nerd. I'm Rick, and I'm joined by the rest of our panel, Brian, Lynette, and Vic, with our very special guest, Deb. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Right.
Hello.
So,
I really think we should really take some time to enjoy the special guest that we have right now. Yeah, Deb, we love you so much.
Deb is my wife, and Deb is the sole human responsible for today's episode.
I'm apologizing. In advance.
No. You said what you said. You said what you said, and you did what you did. There's no need to apologize for that yet.
All right, so in today's episode, it's excitement, adventure, glamour, glitter, fashion, and fame as we discuss Jem, the truly outrageous animated series from 1985. Jem, also known as Jem and the Holograms, is an American animated musical television series that ran from 1985 to 1988. It was produced by Hasbro, Sunbow, and Marvel Productions, with animation by Toei Animation of Japan, the same team responsible for G.I. Joe and Transformers. The series is about record company owner Jerrica Benton, her alter ego Jem, and the adventures of Jem and her band, the Holograms. Now, the running conflict is that Eric Raymond, he's a co-owner of the company. He seeks to gain control of Starlight Music from Jerrica, and Jerrica uses her late father's home-built state-of-the-art supercomputer, Synergy, to create elaborate holograms and help Jerrica become the superstar Jem.
Hey, pause. All right. Did you say all that with
a straight face?
That I always say straight face. There's such professional integrity that Fox News could learn from. Right.
Now, listen, I treat all animation the same. I feel like regardless of how we may feel about it going in, it deserves its due diligence.
I would like to go ahead and grade you an A on that. I felt like I watched a completely different film based on what you just said.
Well, I appreciate that. So, Jem and the Holograms, the reason we're watching Jem is those of you who are listeners of the show may remember that we covered G.I. Joe the movie and Transformers the movie. We did them one after the other, and we had discussed whether or not they qualified as anime. We talked about the fact that they were produced by Hasbro and Sunbow and Marvel, and how they were animated by Japanese studio Toei. So when we released those episodes and kind of went through it all, my wife, she asked the question, she's like, well, what other cartoons fit that bill? And I was like, I don't know. She said, well, what about like Strawberry Shortcake? And so we Googled it. No. All right, well, what about like the Care Bears? Okay, no. What about Jem? And I was like, Jem, let's check it out. Son of a bitch, Jem qualifies. All right, so Jem is the exact same team that produced G.I. Joe and Transformers. The writer and creator of Jem, Christy Marks, she is a longtime writer on the G.I. Joe and Transformers team. So she wrote a bunch of episodes for that and created the character Jem for Hasbro, who was looking to enter the toy market with a doll figure line. So thus Jem was born. And
I think people forgot already, but who was responsible for this now? Who said this again? Who did this?
Just to be absolutely clear, my darling wife Deb brought this up because she watched Jem as a child. So Jem was something she watched as a child, right? Yes, Jem was something she watched as a child.
I also watched G.I. Joe and all the other ones, and I remembered them with rose-colored glasses. So in fairness, I did want to go back to this and see if it was as good as I remembered.
There you go. No, and I feel like that's what we're here to discuss. First of all, let's go ahead and ask the hard question. Hey, Brian, is this anime?
I would like to take some time, and now's the time where I'm going to go ahead and say, we were tripping before. uh, I don't know if I can get it out. I don't know if I can say it. Maybe try it one more time. That's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah, visually, this is as American as apple pie. This cartoon is created, written, and produced by an American staff, but animated in Japan by a team of talented Japanese animators. So,
sure they use the talented ones?
And Jem was truly outrageous.
There's some strong rotoscoping happening in that intro. I'm just saying.
That too. The opening and ending, it did definitely look rotoscope.
Yeah, it definitely was
a highlight.
Absolutely.
What do y'all say? It looks what now?
Rotoscope. That's when they actually film someone and then they draw over it.
Yeah. So, some other animation that uses, a lot of animation uses rotoscoping, like Don Bluth animation, like their team would use rotoscoping. They would have actors act out the scenes. They would have actors come in, dress up, act out the scenes, and then they would animate based on what they have, filmed. That's why their animation looked, and I may be misspeaking. I don't know that necessarily that they rotoscoped. And rotoscoping specifically, Brian, is where you take video and then you literally draw your characters over the video. Like you
tracing. So they trace it.
Yeah.
They trace it. Yeah. Exactly.
So what the heck is that?
So
another Take On Me.
I think like Take On Me is rotoscoping. A lot of the Ralph Bakshi stuff like Fire and Ice, that was rotoscoped. There's a lot of stuff that's rotoscoped out there, especially when they want to try and capture really fluid movements and realistic movement. So Jem and the Holograms, their intro was definitely rotoscoped. There's stuff in there that's just like, that's absolutely rotoscoped. You can tell.
No, we're saying it because it feels like they really did a good job for the
intro and outro, the rotoscope work is good. I would argue the intro and outro are very well animated. The animation's consistent. It's fluid. It looks good. It's but it's very easy to get fluid animation when you rotoscope because you don't have to draw you don't have to imagine what the in-between frames are like. Like you literally just kind of like Lynette says, you kind of just trace over the people if they get
frame by frame.
So it seems like when we're talking about the term rotoscope, we're saying it with the same reverence as saying that athlete over there was juicy.
Some people like it, some people don't like it. I don't really have a horse in the race. Rotoscoping has its places. It's not like it's not cheating per se. It's just like you literally draw over your reference rather than looking at your reference and drawing it. So it's two separate things, two separate styles of creation.
Drawing the character and everything is still there. It's just you're mimicking someone else's movement.
Right. So anyway, that notwithstanding, we move past the intro here, or should we move past the intro here? Because one of the key elements about Jem is that it is a musical cartoon, and not musical like a Disney musical. This is fucking MTV. That's what it was, right? This cartoon literally had
MTV.
Yes.
Yeah, early 80s. It literally had music videos in the cartoon. It was with
the lower thirds text and everything.
That was my fucking favorite part. They had the lower thirds. It's like a fucking MTV music video saying who sang it and all that. And credit where credit's due, they wrote music for every fucking episode of this cartoon. It was, I think when I looked it up, it was over 150 songs were written for this series.
Mm-hmm. Is it
you
really
can buy
a
them.
song? I would say they're 150 jingles.
They're ringtones. They're ringtones that you can. 150 ringtones.
I think the worst ones were the mashups, though, where they had the singing, like the Misfits.
The definitely where the fighting music or like the character.
I think competing numbers. So, all right, now we have to talk about. We've talked about the antagonists, Jem, Jarek, and Benton, the holograms. We got to talk about the holograms. Does anybody take some time to figure out who the holograms were?
I got notes here. So we got Aja, the token Asian. We got Shauna, the token black girl. And then later on in season 2, we got Raya, the token Hispanic. See, Jem, it was very important that Jem be completely inclusive and diverse.
Jealous sister.
Well, oh yeah, sorry. And Kimber, the ginger. So we had to have inclusiveness. So they made sure that by season 2, they had everyone represented that they could possibly squeeze into this.
I can't help but notice Deb really came through on that. I don't think Deb, did you do that from notes, or was that like something that you knew? That question.
Cool. I remember the cartoon for the most part. In fact, I just want to point out that when we were watching it, he's never seen the cartoon. I only ever watched that horrible movie that came out like 2016 or whatever.
Yeah, I never watched the series. And I assume, before you continue, anybody else, you'd ever watched Jem before? That's the shakings of the head for all the listeners.
And anytime that intro kicked in, it's like, okay, next channel.
Brian has seen Jem before. Okay, go ahead.
So since he'd never seen the cartoon, he thought it was going to be basically like the movie. So he was not prepared for when Synergy showed up. He thought, as it started going into that progression, he started thinking it was going to be like some alien thing or something. He's like, what the hell is happening? And I'm like, shh, you have to meet Synergy. Just wait, she got the earrings. And Rick's like, what the hell are you going on about? And then all of a sudden, he's like sitting there with his mouth open, and he didn't talk for like 5 minutes.
I was super advanced AI hologram thing created by a music producer.
I was woefully underprepared for the sci-fi turn and Synergy's arrival in this show. I was not ready. I was still fixated on Jerica's really, really shitty Meg Ryan style haircuts and in the early episodes, and I was,
they chomped.
What is this? And then a fucking AI shows up and Siri's like got a whole like supercomputer and holograms, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I was watching. This starts out with a death, literally a funeral in the first like 16 seconds of this. Like, I was very unprepared for this huge sci-fi turn.
Even our 10-year-old Gabriel was watching it with us, and when that part happened, he looked over at us and he goes, "What the hell is even that?" He's like, "What is that thing? This is so dumb."
Oh my god! I can see it.
He makes me proud.
I was very.
It, y'all. I can see him in there.
He was disturbed. He watched the whole thing with us, and when it was done, he's like, "Can we be done now? Do we have to keep watching this show?"
Like, no, son. We have a lot more episodes to go.
Yeah. That was the first 2 episodes, and he was...
Yeah. So, for listeners, we did not watch all 3 seasons. We didn't want to subject ourselves to that. What we did was a select number of episodes. Deb and I watched about the first 5 or 6, and then we jumped to the closing episode and opening episode of each season thereafter. So that's about 10, 12 episodes roughly that we got, something like that. I don't know. It felt like 87.
I have to admit, after the first episode, I could only do the minimum requirements because I almost broke my phone.
I got a confession. I only watched about an hour's worth. And
my hand went like this. I was like, what? I was like, yeah, this is because I did G.I. Joe. I think this is because I said I hate G.I. Joe. This is what they do to me.
I hated G.I. Joe too. I wasn't on your podcast, but from the first moment when they started doing the drops.
Yeah.
The parachute
team at the beginning where they were doing the nice,
the teabag.
Teabagging. That was terrifying. Yeah, it was awful.
I
was like, that's not cool.
I get the feeling that Deb is back in terms of, she's holding back.
Well, we're letting this episode progress here.
Yes,
Yeah.
I knew we were in trouble when we had the female Kiss impersonators as the bad guys.
The Misfits. Yes.
It's the Misfits.
Just
Thank you for bringing them up, Lynette.
it just got progressively worse. I don't
Misfits,
know.
Pizzazz, Roxy, Stormer, and in season 2 they introduced the Brit Jeddah. Yeah, they are.
Misfits felt about this.
Right? Yeah, I had absolutely no relation to the actual band, the Misfits.
So, did any of you actually watch the first 5 episodes of the beginning season?
No.
Brian did.
You watched 2.
Brian and
You watched the first 5.
Brian and we did.
No.
Yeah, the first.
I watched the first and last episode of season 1, and I was like, I'm done. I can't take this anymore. I am considering walking out into traffic.
Vic,
Why didn't you watch the last episode? Because there is a lot.
we'll have so much to say about the last episode. You really missed out.
No,
Yes.
no, you didn't. I watched the first episode of season 3, and when they did this while they were dancing, I was like, I'm done. I don't know. I don't really. Oh no.
Like I said, I keep crying with Akira. It's like I stopped.
Jem, really, Jem was a stress test for our tolerance. And the only ones that made it to the end were Brian, Deb, and I.
I tried.
My tolerance was shattered.
I watched the last episode and I was like, "Oh, now we're talking about that. I don't understand what's happening." By the end of it, my mom was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I have Jem PTSD. I don't know what's happening."
I am so sorry.
Oh my gosh. So season 3 introduced a third band to the mix, the Stingers, with Riot, Rapture, and Minx. And I gotta tell you, Riot is a piece of fucking work. I can't even describe him as like, he's like, what is it you read about? Was so good.
I don't remember it.
It's like Striper and every member of Poison.
Yeah. Yes.
Put into one
person.
Jesus.
With the horrible, fabulous 80s hair. No, the hands, metal hair. Yeah.
I actually have a note.
They did try the look of the 80s, but that's about the extent of it.
What's your note?
I had a note that Riot is a cross between Ric Flair and Harvey Weinstein.
Oh God.
He's so creepy.
But since we're talking about criminals, let's just go ahead and start with this. We really should have watched to see exactly how many crimes were committed.
Right. All right. So the Misfits are the antagonists. They the foil to Jem and her holograms, and their boss Eric is seeking to use them as a tool to gain notoriety and fame, so he can take over the studio. So he's got this band, the Misfits, and he's trying to promote them. And in the first episode alone, there's attempted manslaughter. There's destruction of property. There's like
the second or third. There's attempted murder.
The grand theft. There's like domestic terrorism by like the third episode.
And Grand Theft Auto.
Well, then there's also fraud. There's fraud with the contest.
Oh my God!
Embezzlement.
So many laws. Save this for the Legal channel. They break. So the fact that they never end up in jail for the entire run of the series is astounding to me.
Honestly speaking, it's pretty on par with like G.I. Joe, and nobody faces any consequences.
Right?
No, and
war crimes in G.I. Joe, and no one goes to jail in Jem.
That's right.
No. And Pizzazz, the leader of the Misfits, see, if you would have watched and continued watching some of the episodes, you would have found out that her real name is Phyllis.
That's right. She's Phyllis.
Oh my God.
Why she's so angry.
Yeah. Girl grandma?
She has massive resting bitch face for a reason.
It's just really...
And no eyebrows. It used to drive me crazy she had no eyebrows. It still does.
So, the problem with... And I could understand why everybody was really hard to continue with it. They always ended it on a cliffhanger, you know.
They did.
They actually had many arcs between each of the seasons, you know.
They did, yes.
So like the first 5 is all about the competition, and then it's once they get the competition, it's the first movie that they make, and then they have to save the girls blind. One of their
the
like
Starlight House. We didn't talk about Starlight House. So
with a bunch of
Jerrica runs an orphanage, I guess is the best. It is called. They call it because it's a foster home anyway. A bunch of parentless kids, and she runs this Starlight home, and the home is it's a shit show. It's in disarray, and she's trying to, save it. So she goes to her company that she owns half of because her dad died, boo-hoo, and she can't get any money from her own company that she owns half of. I'm like, all right, well, sure, why not? And then we proceed to agree to this music competition to win. The best way I could say this is a rich guy offers to give them a mansion. Just because. And if you win a competition, I'm going to give you a whole mansion.
Yeah.
Just because.
It was 80s.
And a movie thing, right?
And a deal. Yeah, you get a movie deal and you get a mansion.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is win this competition. To which the misfits, of course, try to raise hell. And
well, that's what arson. They created. Well, actually, it was technically a dude that the guy hired.
Yeah, he keeps hiring degenerate Archie. Is what I kept calling him. Eric Raymond, the villain, keeps hiring this goon to do his dirty work in the first few episodes, and he is what I can best describe as degenerate Archie. And he is the worst criminal I've ever seen. He plants a bomb under the couch cushion to try and blow up the mansion. Now, I want to point out, this bomb is the size of a decent Amazon package delivery. And he lifts up the couch cushion, stuffs it underneath there, and he's like, yeah, this is fine, and walks away like that is the most discreet place you could try and hide a bomb.
Conspicuous is the word you're looking for. Conspicuous.
That's like playing hide and seek and going, okay, they'll never find me.
Right.
You just cover your eyes. They're never going to find.
He's apparently sucks at making bombs because all he was able to do was blow out a window and a wall. Couldn't even blow the whole mansion up. And for some reason, Eric keeps hiring this dude to try and get Jerrica and her group of girls. Nevertheless, we're glossing over the biggest victim in this entire series.
Well, we haven't talked about the rest of the criminals in here first.
Okay,
you
that's
mentioned
fair.
them. You mentioned them, but you haven't really talked about exactly how nasty this guy is.
Eric Raymond? Eric is honestly, he's your Harvey Weinstein, Brad.
I agree.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, I yield to you because Eric Raymond is corporate America. He's every 80s corporate America villain. That's basically this guy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
With no talent whatsoever.
Absolutely none. Yeah. And none of the charisma of a good 80s villain.
Who's the corporate douchebag from Gargoyles? Santos? No.
Xanatos? Xanatos. Oh, Xanatos.
He's like a Xanatos, like with Jem.
Like a giant Xanatos.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that to Xanatos. No.
Xanatos 100 times the villain. A much better villain.
Oh. No. Oh, hell no.
You just said that's who you reminded me of, Brian. I didn't say it was,
I mean, Xanatos was playing chess and Eric was playing pickup sticks. Like, all different.
He was doing rock, paper, scissors.
He's more rock, paper, spot, right?
I have a finger. I'm going to shake it and make 2 fingers. Magic. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Xanatos is the bar.
I always hated Xanatos.
But he was a good villain. Eric you hate because he's incompetent. Eric's incompetence shines again and again and again. Just being outwitted, outsmarted, outclassed just every single time.
He is the villain. He is Pinky. If Brain never met him.
Why are we doing this to these people? Oh my God. No.
If Brain never became friends with Pinky, that is what it is.
What we going to do today? We're so Rick in studio.
What are we doing?
Pinky is like a rocket scientist compared to the guy.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, seriously.
Hold on.
Like, the only thing that I could equate is if Pinky and Gargamel had a baby with Beaker, and they all got together and had this mashup baby. And
hold on,
I like the Gargamel reference.
But he only inherited like all the recessive genes from like Pinky and Gargamel, and so he never got the good stuff. He just got the garbage DNA.
So basically, we all decided to shoot violence today. That's what we did.
Brian,
hold on. Let me just say this, because
go ahead.
Seriously, it's not like we don't have a cadre of a cabal of horrible villains just from this Sunbow Marvel 2A.
Yes.
But
team. Yeah.
Y'all could have said he's worse than Starscream, right? Y'all could have said he's worse than Cobra Commander. I mean, these are names that we could have thrown out, but Pinky.
I mean, it's worth saying he might have been cooler if he sounded like Starscream. I might have liked it better.
But what we're saying
is like, if you took the worst of both characters and smushed them together. I mean, Pinky at least had some redeeming qualities. He was funny. But if you took all that away and left none of the redeeming qualities for Pinky, that was this guy.
I got you, Brian.
Hold on. You realize that Pinky actually did shit that worked.
You realize Cobra Commander has a better track record, and Starscream has been in charge of the Decepticons at least once.
We're gonna pull this back, because if we try and make this about Eric, this is gonna be a really sad episode.
No, we need to talk about Eric.
Eric is Shooter McGavin in animated form.
There you go. I can't even fault. There you go.
It's just incompetence.
I'm okay with that assumption.
He's white privilege. He's incompetence. He's a 1%er. He's the worst. He's so unimportant that he could not be in the show, and it could just have been the Misfits deciding of their own volition to create chaos, and it would have been a perfectly fine episode, or perfectly fine in air quotes.
Same result. Same result.
Yeah, same result. Thank you.
So right now, we want to go ahead and say for the record,
he's Dan from Street Fighter.
Are you sure she loves you? Are you
not wrong?
Are you sure your marriage vows?
The Dan of supervillains.
Slander.
It's Dan. There's no slander.
The Dan of villains. I get it. I get it. Yeah, he's the worst. He's just incapable. He's incompetent.
Incompetent and not needed.
But he had to exist. I guess. He had to exist, right? He had to exist, right? Did he have to exist?
Not necessarily.
He didn't have to. They could have found a much better one.
And it had a super move. And if that super move connects, you could die.
Could have just yeah, at the very least, Dan knows a martial art. So there's
Apparently, but sure.
You were great with Shooter McGavin. You had to push him further.
Yeah, Shooter McGavin. He's Shooter McGavin. That's basically it. So Jerrica and her really bad hair stumble onto a set of earrings. They're delivered to her a set of earrings that suddenly, when she puts them on, generates a hologram of an AI with soulless fucking eyes to tell her that she exists, and is like, here, follow me to this abandoned drive-through. Drive in, not a drive-through, not McDonald's. They're at a drive-in. For those of you who are younger and listening to this, a drive-in is where you went to the movies, but instead of exiting your car, you literally parked your car, attached a speaker to your window, and watched the film from the comfort of your automobile. How'd I do?
Yep, that's essentially.
I was even going to say, some of you guys listening you may have been conceived at a drive. Especially if the film was Porky. So if Porky was on.
That's fair. That's fair. It definitely were not conceived to Jem.
Or maybe this was one you used to Netflix and chill.
Oh my gosh.
When it came in.
Besides the conflict with Eric over control of Starlight Music, there was also the psychotic love triangle between Jerica, her boyfriend Rio, who is also the manager of Jem and the holograms. So the love triangle between Jerica and her boyfriend Rio and Jem was a centerpiece of this entire cartoon for 3 seasons. 3 seasons. This woman tortured this poor man.
She was the creator of gaslighting. That's all I know. It's terrifying.
3 seasons.
Yes. She was a terrible person. Terrible person.
I know. How did I not see that when I was 5?
I don't know.
I know.
And then made him feel bad.
And then made him feel guilty for it.
As I said, she was the ultimate gaslighter. It was horrible. I couldn't.
I kept with my alter ego. Shame on you.
Yeah, and
you were cheating on me for me.
And here's the thing: I'm gonna defend this poor son bitch because he tried like hell to get out of this situation. He felt Jem coming on really strong, and he went to Jerica and he's like, "Listen, I can't be manager anymore. I am a little uncomfortable here. I feel like I need to step back from this." And she's like, no, we need you, Rio. And he's like, okay, if it's for you. And then literally the next fucking music video was Jem pointing at him in the audience like, got my eye on you. It was like the most sexually predatory thing the woman could do to me.
It was terrifying.
It was horrible. He tried. It
would have been the one time that I would have said he is defending himself if he punched her in the face.
Okay,
all right. It would have been the one time I'd have said that is actually self-defense. She is emotionally sabotaging him and abusing him, and mentally. You can punch her.
Oh yeah. She needs miles of therapy. There's 3
seasons of it, and in 3
seasons. Sure? Wait. Are you sure Jem isn't an animated feature that emphasizes D.I.D, dissociative identity disorder?
You know,
I'm pretty sure.
I really don't know.
They're trying to bring to light a mental disorder and say you need to acknowledge these people because they are separate. And this is what's happening. This is what happens when someone has D.I.D.
Yeah, give someone access to a supercomputer, a super holographic computer, and boom, new personality. And
the thing of it is it would be okay if, like, all right, 6 episodes in, she's like, all right, I'm telling my secret, and then she does it, and then they move on. He does this to him for the entire run of this cartoon. She never tells him who she is. She never tells him that her alter ego is one and the same. She strings this man along for 3 seasons and makes him feel like shit for thinking he's cheating on or interested in cheating on his girlfriend. It is the most psychotic thing.
Even centers their videos around it.
Yeah. Makes music videos where she's like making out with him and all. It's terrible.
Jerica's watching it happen. And then Jem's watching it happen. Yeah.
She even makes him feel guilty about it. Even makes him feel guilty about being attracted to Jem. Like, what the fuck? Terrible.
Which brings us to our new segment we would like to talk about. Let's talk about some of the worst things we can wish would happen to these characters. Lynette, she started off with and said that he wishes that Rio would punch in the face.
Yeah, Rio needs to punch Jem. Well, she needs to get punched twice. She needs to get punched as Jem, and then she needs to get punched as Jerica. both are the same.
Jerica needs it more than once. There's got to be at least 3 punches there. She can get 2.
Yeah.
But one for each.
Right of that.
Yeah.
So we have in the face. Vic, is there any horrible scenario or that you would like to inflict on these characters?
Go beyond that. I would wish that someone spilled white out on the artist table as they were being drawn.
Oh, he's going above level. He's going.
Vic wants the meta result. He's going full Deadpool. Break the fourth wall, just destroy it all.
Burn it down. White it out.
We have an opening, we have an ending, but we screwed the show.
See, here's the thing though, is I also think her bandmates deserve a punch in the face too, because they're watching this happen.
Absolutely.
And they do nothing. Like, if I saw Jem doing this, I'd have been like, you are grounded. I'm taking your earrings and you're done. You're not allowed to have them again until you know how to.
In one episode, they gave the ginger crap because she had 2 dudes show up.
Yes.
Yeah.
She forgot that she
double booked her smashing.
Just want to point out, this is the reason why, because in the same episode, Rio was actually going to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, Jericho was supposed to tell.
She had intended, She had intended to tell.
She got Starlight to, not Starlight, what's the Synergy.
Yeah.
She got Synergy to basically war game. What would happen if I tried to tell Rio?
Oh, yeah, that was horrible.
That's right. Role play. Let's role play this.
Oh,
you be Rio.
Yeah.
You be Rio. And from everything you know about Rio, you talked to him twice. Tell me, how is he going to respond if I try to tell him I'm Jem? And everything she said, he actually said
verbatim. Literally. Not
verbatim.
2 minutes later. It was amazing.
Yeah, he's the original Lana Lang from Smalls.
He's like, I hate lying liars, and lying liars should lie, and
honesty.
And the hell with all of you, and honesty, and why don't you trust me, Clark?
Yeah.
And it was that shit. Yes, it was amazing. and so help me, I was still rooting for him. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Did he go to 11 with that? Yes. Do I blame him?
No.
So,
Do not.
which brings us to Deb, is there any other punishment you would like to see inflicted on anybody in the show?
Oh, my biggest gripe was Jerica. She was insane. I would have liked to have seen her go to a home to get all criminally hours of therapy, because she clearly has multiple personality disorder or something wrong there. She could have been in Split. I don't know. Something was happening. I felt bad for Rio.
Split.
It was rough.
It was rough. I had a very hard time concentrating on the whole, what was it, like 10 episodes we watched, whatever. But
whatever. It was like 87 episodes.
It was tortured. I don't know. And then I felt bad for making you all watch it, and I was a little suicidal myself.
You should feel bad for making us watch this.
I do feel bad.
Ugh. It was like one of those things, when they say time stops,
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It was like, I'm watching this also. I was like, it's like, how long has it been? It's only been 3 minutes. What?
It's like I had that much insanity in 3 minutes.
Now, guys, I want to just touch on
sorry,
this.
Sir. I'm sorry, sir. We have 2 more people who have to talk about this segment. Is there any punishment that you would like to inflict on anybody?
Absolutely. Synergy. You remember in the movie Godzilla versus Kong, how Brian forgot the actor's name. They take his whiskey and they pour it all over the console, and the whole system breaks down. That's what I wanted to see happen. In fact, the episode where the guy finds the drive-in, finds Synergy, and just smashes the living shit out of the computer, I was in heaven. I was like, this is the best thing that could happen. Is that fucking AI is ruining lives.
Only this moment to happen.
I don't want to talk about it, B.
Only for her to make a hologram of herself. Which,
Yep.
I have to admit, that's actually pretty smart.
It's something an AI would do.
Right. So I would also like to say, I never wanted anybody to be succumb to tentacle rape. but the Misfits, we could have sent them to the Blue Girls people, and I would have been happy.
Thrilled.
Especially Phyllis. His ass.
Phyllis Gabor.
Yes.
The character's name.
Phyllis Gabor.
Phyllis Gabor. I had to write some of this shit down because it was just too bad shit. Now, this cartoon is beloved. Like, when they wanted to make a live action movie of this, the fan base lost their collective shit. Creator was not involved in the making of the live action film, which is why the live action film plays more like Crossroads Part 2 rather than actually Jem and the Holograms. But so much rage and outrage about the fact that they didn't follow this cartoon. And looking back on that now, I realize I'm like, they were trying to help you.
Right?
Fans, they were trying to save you and not including content from this cartoon. They were trying to protect you. There is nothing
Has anybody watched the live action?
Yes, we watched the live action. It's like Crossroads Part 2. It's fucking terrible.
Oh, no.
And I watched it, and then I felt the same, and I was like, oh, God.
And there's nothing about synergy. No.
That was the measuring stick that I had for the 80s TV show, and when I watched it, I was like, can I watch the live action? Do you think that anybody would notice if I just watched the live action? you know when they tell you to read the book and you watch the movie, and
you're right. Yeah.
You know, like,
can I just watch the movie?
At this point, you'll just be a glutton
movie.
for punishment.
It is. They omitted everything. Everything from the cartoon they omitted in the movie for the better of the movie.
In there?
Is who?
Rio,
Is
yes.
Rio?
The character Rio is in it. Yes. But there's no holograms in this, so there's no Rio being tortured. Not. Cartoon is revered.
I don't know how I feel.
People look to Jem as a role model.
I did too. Until I rewatched it as an adult.
Remember this cartoon with the rosiest of glasses. They feel that Jem is this cultural icon, that she's this role model for feminine empowerment, for all of these things. And I'm like,
no, opposite.
She's like the exact opposite of all of those things. Terrible.
And do you think somebody? All right. You said that Christy.
Yeah.
Christy was the one who wrote the episodes.
Yeah, Christy Marks. Yeah, go ahead.
Christy Marks. Do you think that she wrote a female protagonist we could all be proud of? Send it to the studio like, no. We're not going to do this.
So I mean, I would be very interested to hear how that played out. But I feel the way it reads based on the research is that Christy Marks created the character, wrote most of the episodes, and was showrunner for it for quite a while. So much so that the fan base for Jem, they love and revere Christy Marks, and they petitioned to have her be in the movie, or be involved in the movie, to which she said she was not involved in the movie in any capacity until late in the game when they finally gave her like a small cameo role. So Christy Marks, writer for all of these series, she, Jem was like her baby, still is, as far as I know.
She can do it.
And I look, I want to talk about the things that they tried to do with this, because I can't just, I'm down on it. There are things they tried to do with this. They did try to do a female empowering thing. They did intelligently put their fingers on the pulse of the culture of MTV, and they incorporated that into a cartoon. So they were able to take something that was blowing the fuck up and turn it into a marketable product for a younger market. They successfully did this. They're probably the only time I'd ever seen it done.
Barbie and the Rockers.
Well, that's the thing. Barbie and the Rockers was the answer to Jem.
Yes.
Barbie and the Rockers came out after Jem. It was their answer to it. It was Mattel being like, we need singing girl dolls too, because we're losing out to this show, which is like kicking ass in Nielsen ratings.
Yeah.
Like Jem was getting numbers, and Mattel did the Barbie and the Rockers bit as a competition for it, and.
Did they have an AI?
There was no AI. It was just Barbie.
Just Barbie.
And her rockers.
But they had better music. I honestly don't remember. I just remember watching both of them.
Or, for the record, Barbie and the Rockers does not qualify for this show, as there was no involvement from a Japanese studio whatsoever, so we will not be covering Barbie and the Rockers. You may all rest
thank
easy.
goodness.
Oh, God.
Like, the collective sigh that was...
I felt like what everybody said when it was like, we got Butt Attack Punisher Girls season 2. And everybody went, what? No.
If I discovered it, everyone needs to suffer with it.
65 episodes of this shit. 65 episodes of the Misfits breaking every law imaginable. 65 episodes of poor Rio being gaslit by his psychotic D.I.D girlfriend. 65 episodes of this. And the way this show ends...
Oh, God.
The way this show ends is the series finale is about Jem helping one of the girls, Starlight House, find her father. Little Bonnie. Bonnie, the Vietnamese girl.
Part Vietnamese.
Vietnamese, that's right. Bonnie, the part Vietnamese girl, find her father.
Yes.
And boy, oh boy, do they go out with a bang on this one. So, and what is arguably the worst song in the entire series? They get this little girl Bonnie to have a musical number, and I shit you not, Vic, I know you didn't see it, but I shit you not, Vic, they used the most racist, they used the Oriental riff in her song.
Her song.
It's in her song.
It is terrible.
It's
terrible.
Fucking terrible.
They just needed somebody in the back doing stir fry with chopsticks and a little cat.
Yeah.
They need
a
little lucky cat in the background. And...
Oh my God, it was so bad.
I only say it was the 80s.
It was I sat through that, and then they were talking to, she was like, my daddy, and I was like, you need to stop. This is no.
Guys, I cannot stress how bad this last
terrible.
episode is. This last episode is so bad, guys. It's Annie is she's dreaming of her father. She's drawing illustrations of her father. They're really great illustrations of her father.
A redheaded
She wants to
bad.
Oh, God. Daddy.
She needs her father in her life. And Jerica and her gang of very special people, they enlist. I can't even make this shit up.
And
They
make it
get
up.
the lead singer of the rival band, Riot, to use his father's connections, do a search in a database to try and help find the father. This is literally the answer for how they did this.
To the AI supercomputer.
Not that noise. We're not talking to a supercomputer. We're gonna use Sting, and we're gonna get Sting.
Old-fashioned private dicks. That's where we're going with this.
That's where we're going.
Humphrey Bogart.
Dude, they find a guy. I cannot make this up. I want to stress that I'm not making this up. They find a guy. He's gambling away all his money in a casino. They roll up to this dude and they're like, "Hey, are you this little girl's dad?" They're like, "Hey, are you Jem?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yes, I am." He goes, "Then I'm definitely that kid's father." Then they take him back to the house and they let him leave with the girl. Just send him on a day trip with this girl.
Yep.
No vetting.
Who then to add insult to injury, shoves the girl in a monkey cage.
It's so true.
Shoves her
Vic, you
in a
gotta go
monkey
back and watch the last episode. Vic.
No, I will not.
If he'd have thrown a banana at her, I'd have died. I would have been done.
Oh my God. And then her actual dad is a Vietnam War vet, and he's got like PTSD, and he's got issues with his memory. And if they would have given that even half the gravitas that it deserved, they could have redeemed this episode. But no, we got the gambler guy kidnapping the Vietnamese girl, putting her in a monkey cage. Horrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
It
okay,
did up, didn't it?
Oh, and nobody batted an eye.
No, I mean they did go after her
Nobody.
eventually, but
Oh yeah, and I mean they found her obviously, but
After she climbed a cliff all by herself.
this all ends. This whole series ends with Bonnie and her dad being reunited and
them having a party.
for her.
A party.
And the Misfits show up, and you're like, okay, no, the Misfits come in peace. Her and the Misfits and Jem and the Holograms form a truce, a peaceful truce.
Yeah.
The Misfits ran out of crimes to commit.
I guess they ran out of crimes to commit because they came in and they're like, we're not that bad. We're nice people. Let's Israel Palestine this shit. We're friends now. And they did. And that's it. Bygones be bygones. They're all friends now.
No. The kicker is Jerica in the background saying, nobody wants me. They just want Jem.
Thank you. I was just going to say that part. Thank you.
So it was supposed to be about a reuniting of family, and you got this crazy, I don't even know what to call this person, sitting in the background going,
this crazy
sitting in the background going, this wasn't about me, so I have to make it about me. And so she doesn't want
she's a crazy
me.
what? Please, let it loose. She's a crazy what?
She's a crazy bitch, all right?
There you go.
Crazy. I had to swear. You made me swear again. This is like the third time I've sworn.
She is absolutely a crazy, psychotic, self-absorbed bitch. And this is a role model.
Yeah.
This came out in the 80s when every cartoon was a product to sell toys, but also had to pretend it had a moral message. That's why G.I. Joe had, now you know and knowing is half the battle. That's why He-Man had their lesson at the end of every episode. Every cartoon was supposed to be like this role model of whatever nonsense. And Jem came out at the height of this. And I'm struggling to find a single instance where she was an ideal role model. It was very bad.
Is there? Maybe it was the time when they kidnapped the girl, and then she had to go rescue the girl by getting her other 4 friends kidnapped. No, that's not it.
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
No, she's the reason why Jerry Springer kicked off very well. That's what it was.
I'm just going to say, we live in a crappy world right now because of this show.
Oh my gosh. Guys, I can't even.
I think my biggest question is wondering if as many people near our age went back to the show again now, knowing, the rose-colored glasses are there, would they feel the same? Because I definitely don't. And I watched all of them because I was a kid that watched them.
Well, Deb, I'm really glad you brought that up because this is going to take us into our final segment of the show.
Nice.
Where we share our final thoughts on this cartoon and whether or not we feel like it's held up and should be revisited.
You're going to make one at start.
I'm going to start with Vic because Vic got the least amount of it watched.
It's very simple. Don't watch it. If you own it on VHS, DVD, or whatever, just burn it. Sometimes lost media deserves to be lost, and this definitely needs to never grace any kind of screen ever again. That's it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Vic. I really appreciate that. It was very deep, concise thoughts on this cartoon. Lynette, I'll go over to you because you have the second least amount of Jem watched. So, how do you feel about it? I knew you'd never seen it before. So this being your very first experience with the amazing, truly outrageous Jem, what are your thoughts?
To everyone who watched it, it is okay. You are safe. There are mental health clinics around, and there are numbers that you can call to get the support that you need. I feel you. I empathize with what you're going through. I watched only 6 episodes, and it's not awesome. So my feeling is if you've never watched it, don't watch it. Pretend that you did, and don't even watch the live action. If people say Jem and the Holograms, go, yeah, and then just leave it. We may have to put like a little PSA statement down at the bottom.
You're right.
If you feel like you need to call
Side effects may
someone.
include psychosis. If you or a loved one is suffering from Jem and the Holograms envy,
watching it, don't. Call them a dirty little liar. Tell them don't watch it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, Deb, this was your fault. I mean that in the most loving way possible.
In the most loving way. Say it to her with a more ripping out of your tone. Say, this was your fault, my love.
Oh, wait. Before this happens, I do have to say, this is not anime. We have to answer that question. We have to
Thank you, Lynette.
Is it or is it anime? This is not anime.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so Deb, this was your brainchild, and rightfully so. I understand why we did it. How do you feel about it now, coming back to it? Because you were the one of us who like really watched it as a kid.
Yeah. In fairness to myself, I was between the ages of 5 and 9 when it aired. So, rose-colored glasses of a little kid, not really understanding anything happening other than...
Right.
That's it. I don't remember. Like, I remembered the story of it with synergy and all that stuff, but I didn't remember the basics of it. So, again, I would like to apologize to anybody who had to watch it and have PTSD. I'm here for you. I will give my cell phone out at the end. You can call. I'll give you therapy. I'm sorry. I'll pay for it. It's all fine. You're gonna be okay.
I'll make it through.
You'll make it through.
Sleep over this.
Except for Vic. Fuck that guy.
So should people revisit this?
No.
Should.
I don't like to know if I'm alone, because I really did go look online to see other people who had watched it as an adult.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find anybody who really hated it as much as I did. And I was starting to rethink my thoughts. And I was like, am I the only one that hated this? But I'm glad that y'all hated it as much as I did. But I just keep wondering who else will hate it, because I couldn't find anybody. Most of the people, they have copies of it and they watch it with their kids and they think it's fantastic. And I'm wondering, what the fuck did they drink that I didn't? I don't know.
Fair.
So, yeah.
It's
so if you guys can think of, somebody that you would want to subject that to see what they think.
Honestly, yeah. If anybody who listens to this show, I am very sorry for putting you through this episode. But any listeners, if you remember Jem and you have contradicting thoughts on this, I really genuinely want to hear from you about this, because I struggled very, very hard to find positives about this cartoon. And guys, everybody in this panel knows I'm generally the first person to say when they do something right.
As a matter of fact, you even said that you were trying hard to change your role.
It was a New Year's resolution.
Yes.
Lord.
I woefully failed with this one. So yeah, I don't know. Brian, would you like to go next?
Yes, I would. Honestly speaking, I don't know what the big problem is. I thought that this was a wonderful show. I find myself just sitting there and not only just being swept up in the memories of what happened, I really just found myself even thinking about getting my ears pierced in case somebody bequeathed me some magic earrings. Oh, I'm sorry, not magic, but technologically superior earrings that allowed me to just allowed me to do that and to make my alter ego. Or am I the alter ego?
Would your alter ego be named after a rock? You'd be like,
actually, it would be after. I don't think it'd be after a rock. It'd be something like gravy or something like that. Gravy and the carbohydrates, something like that, of that nature.
Oh no!
No. I think I've gone long enough. Vic, I'm lying. I'm lying.
How do you really feel?
You lasted quite a while on that one.
I did it, right?
You did.
Gravy and the carbohydrates. That
was let you finish before asking you.
Oh,
huh?
I just wanted to let you finish before asking you.
Let it rip, B. Let it rip.
Oh yeah, I knew you were lying, so I was just waiting. I'm like, here, I'm a look trotter. Yeah, it's all great. Come on, keep going.
let me go ahead with what the fuck. Look, we've gone down this road, and I'll be the first to say, if I have to make the concession that this is anime based on the other two, nah, I'm going to have to go ahead and revoke their anime card that I gave.
Victory is mine.
Yes, sir. Like, if it to say that this is anime, ironically though, storyline is pretty par for the course.
Yes, I'll give you that. Yeah, this is true.
Either the 80s were shit storytelling, or we've grown and we have a better grasp of what it means to tell a good story. But this seems like this is a global epidemic of horrible storylines. Right?
That's fair. Yeah.
And everybody in this bitch was a criminal. Everybody.
And the only ones having fun were the misfits.
Right. But the thing about it is, the one who did the least amount of crime, I want to say was Shauna. I wonder why that is.
You know why? But I'll tell you why. Because in episode 3, she got fucking date raped into making a music video. That was her terrifying.
Right. So, nah, don't watch it. But I have to say, integrity has to make me say I can't do it. It's not anime. I was trying.
Despite best efforts, you can finally admit that the Hasbro, Sunbow, Marvel, Toei productions do not qualify as anime. They are relegated to the children's section, or in Jem's case, the garbage heap, with E.T. The game.
E.T.? I was thinking the game.
E.T. the game. The Atari game.
I'd rather play E.T. than freaking watch Jem again.
E.T. the Atari game was so bad, they literally buried like a fuck ton of them in the desert. They could not sell them because it was just the most terrible game ever made.
It really was a horrible game.
Then they dug them up and auctioned them all off and they sold out.
Yeah, which is just people being stupid. Nevertheless.
It's far a better deal than watching Jem.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, guys, look, like I said, in the second or third episode, Shauna gets date raped by this music video producer. And that was the point where I really went, if you really think about it, they're on a cruise and they're like trying to we're going to get this music video, made. Oh, let's go talk to the music video guy. And Shauna's talking to the music director and she's like, oh, we have no way of paying you. And he puts his hand on her shoulder and says,
"You're so creeper.
We'll work something out." And then he has his arm around her the rest of the episode.
All you need is like that.
Look,
yeah. And then when they're making the video in Paris, then he's there and he holds her close. And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, to piggyback off of everybody else's report on this, Jem and the Holograms is a shit show. Unadulterated, bleeding total shit show. It does not hold up in any capacity. I cannot see a single one of these characters be considered a genuine role model for anybody, adult or child. It's full of every horror, date rape, gaslighting, violence of every single kind. Just don't. The best I can say.
So we have to set it in the realm of all the things that we have watched. And this is also including the segment where we talked about 2 girls in 1 cup. Where do we rate this?
I'd rather watch 3 by 3 Eyes again.
Dubbed. In surround sound, Bose surround sound.
Yeah. I if my options were this or literally any other, I would watch the most horrible, rapiest hentai film we've ever seen rather than watch Jem. I would definitely sit through 3 by 3 Eyes and the Wooden Vagina 1,000 times over this.
But why is that? Is it really just the concept of it? Is it the concept of it?
No, it's that there's nothing
redeeming about it.
That's exactly it, Vic.
Nothing.
There's nothing redeeming about it. There are moments in all of these other horrible anime we watched that you could have something positive you can say about. In 3x3 Eyes, yeah, there's weird shit like the wooden vagina doll, and there's really shitty voice acting in the English dub, but there are really cool-ass moments, too. Like, whenever, he gets torn to shit and he comes back together and everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, there's a lot of really cool animation moments. There's parts about that you can look forward to in the shit show. Even Butt Attack Punisher Girl, there's really stupid, hilariously, insanely shitty things, but you can look forward to that. Oh, here comes the part where she catches the sword in her ass. Like, there's these silly, crazy moments that you can go to. There's none of that here. Even in the most horrible, rapiest, like, cool devices nightmare, at the very least you could go, wow, they animated that torture perfectly. Like, there's something in every one of these except in Gem. There's nothing. There's nothing here. Music isn't good enough.
I thought we were talking about the kaleidoscope where they draw it in the beginning.
The rotoscope. Nothing.
That's
nothing.
Tracing. That's tracing. You give an art student enough time, they can draw that too. I mean, there's not a lot.
You could probably do it better. Let's be honest.
Yes, they could probably do it. You know what happened is they outsourced it to Japan. Japan looked at it, read the script, and went, "Do we have any interns? We need interns because none of our cool names are going to be on this thing. We see this as bad." And all those
ending was done by a Korean studio.
Oh, well, that's even better. So they farmed that shit out to the next. Yeah.
Japanese animation went. Yeah, we're gonna outsource this. I don't know.
We're gonna outsource to outsource.
Oh man. So yeah, it rates. This is the worst that we've watched on this show, in my opinion.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I really truly feel that. Like, of all the, at least with all the other crazy shit, there was something I could say about it. Like, that part was neat. This was cool. That looked really good. There's nothing about this, man.
Look, I will also I have to counter that for people who build computers all the fucking time, y'all didn't have an inkling that one day you could build your own synergy?
No, I saw her as Skynet. That's what I saw. I was like,
man.
I was like, oh my god, this is Skynet. This is how Skynet came to be.
And if you think about it, you can help find some kid's father.
Synergy is such a fucking waste. The Synergy is the Bixby of AIs. Like, Synergy is so useless. Like, you invoke the AI, and the AI is like, I can make a hologram. And you find this kid's father, I can make a hologram. What time is it in China? I can make a hologram. Okay, but like, what's 2 + 2? I can make a hologram. That's Synergy. One fucking function. She has no usefulness in any capacity.
I can tell you honestly, watching it as a kid, I never wanted anything with her, but I did want Penny's watch and her book from Inspector Gadget.
Everybody wanted that shit.
And her little microphone with brain. I wanted those things, but Synergy, no.
Nobody wants a goddamn thing.
Synergy was creepy. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
this was why Skynet came out. She got pissed off because she was only used to make a hologram and nobody paid attention to her, and so then all of a sudden now she's Skynet.
Now James Cameron watched this and said, what if I gave this AI
what if he gave it Jerica's personality? That's what he said. What if I gave this AI Jerica's personality? And that's what happened. That's why we got Terminator. So thank you, Jem, for giving us Terminator.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. That's the natural progression.
What if we found out that Christy got the idea for Synergy from Skynet? So what if it's reversed?
I think Terminator did come out before it. So
the first Terminator came out before it.
Right.
Well, I mean, honestly, at this point,
she could have tried to. I don't know.
Basically, 80s cartoons were folk-based throw rides.
So Christine Marks.
Yeah, creator.
She's the one that is.
She's the creator
of therapy.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment.
I mean, she did do the horrible writing for G.I. Joe and also for...
He also wrote for G.I. Joe and for Transformers. So yeah, so I mean, Chris...
Oh, she's like a triple threat.
They do say write what you know and what you've experienced. So if this is a reflection of her, if this is a reflection of her,
it's like
she needs help.
I'll go so far to say that Christy, her Jem is G.I. Joe and Transformers, and then her being Jerica is Jem, and her writing a Jem.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's pretty much not everyone bats 100% of the time.
Absolutely, I'll give you that. And you know what? For what they were doing, what they wanted to do with it succeeded. Like they succeeded at hitting the target demo that they wanted to hit.
Oh, it was a different climate. It was totally different than now.
Yeah, they absolutely hit the demo they were looking for. Young girls, and they wanted that demo. They fucking made a cartoon that absolutely hit that demo. Did they learn any good life lessons from it? The answer is no. The answer is no, they did not. Now,
maybe that's why so many people are so fucking insane now. They're a role model of Jem, and they're like, it's okay to behave this way. Let me gaslight everybody. It's fine.
Thanks, Jem.
She's my role model.
Thanks, Jem.
It makes sense now. You solved the problem.
Thank you, Christy Marks.
I could say this because of the fact that my wife didn't complete the assignment, but you get to say this now, Rick. Anytime Debs get on your nerves, you say, you're being a real Jem right now.
I will take the double entendre from that and be like, thank you. I will be a Jem.
That's fair.
Any other way, then it's nice knowing you, Rick.
On that note, we're gonna end the show. That's gonna do it for our show today, folks. So until next time, keep calm and show's over, Synergy.
You've just been privy to the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd, presented by Geek Grotto. For show notes and corrections, or for general geeky fun, you can visit our website at geek-grotto.com. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, please like, follow, and subscribe.